Hello and welcome to NewJerseyBusinessStars.net, an initiative platform created where we seek out successful business leaders and get them to sit down with us and share their secrets, their strategies, and just, their goals, what it is that has made them the successful stars they are today. And hi, my name is Cora Park. I am the founder of NewJerseyBusinessStars.net. I'm also the CEO of Diamond Business Communications. We're a technology company servicing the New Jersey area. So today's New Jersey business star, we have Sheri Kurdakul. Sheri is the CEO and founder of VictimsVoice app. She has an incredible and inspiring journey that she's going to share with us that created this foundation, this organization, if you will. And welcome, Sheri.
Thank you for having me, Cora.
Please introduce yourself to our wondering audience and share with us who you are, and please tell us about Victims Voice.
Excellent. Well, my name is Sheri Kurdakul. I am the founder and CEO of Victims Voice. And Victims Voice was created out of my own personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a survivor of 29 years of child abuse, sexual assault, and domestic violence. I've been through all the different types of court systems, criminal, civil, family, and one of the things that I noticed was that a majority of the cases that are reported are dismissed largely due to a lack of evidence. So you're talking about a small percentage of people that report, and then you're talking about 8 out of 10 of those reports are dismissed due to a lack of evidence. And it's not that survivors don't have documentation. They are documenting. They're saving reports. They have binders full of information. But what they do lack is the legal expertise to understand what information is relevant to the court systems, what is actual evidence, and what is considered hearsay by the courts or irrelevant information.
That makes sense for victims.
Yes. So there's a lot of complexity to not only what you document, but how it's documented, how that information is stored, who has access to all that information, which is called chain of custody. And so we simplified a very complex space into a really easy to use web-based tool that people can document the details of each incident based on those evidentiary questions.
So it sounds like you almost seem to be a little bit of an attorney too.
I'm surrounded by a lot of them for sure.
Well, I'm sure the journey has taken you there. So,
Yes.
What is it? How did this? I obviously you're a survivor, and it's probably something that's always been within yourself to try to help other victims. You obviously are a successful leader to create this organization. How did it? What did you just wake up one day and say, hey, let me. What can I do? What was the struggle? What was the final? I need to do something.
Yeah. So my daughter, when she was 10 years old, she built an anti-bullying mobile app for her science fair project.
Mother like daughter.
And won the elementary division of the Mercer County Science and Engineering Fair, and also won the Earl S. Rommel Communications Award. And that was really the spark, if you will,
Sure.
that got me thinking about building something like this. And so when she was done with her science fair project, we got her expressed permission and then took it from there and turned what was just a science fair project and turned it into a full-fledged tool and then an actual business.
Does she sit on your board?
No. But she did work for me for a while.
Well, it takes a lot, to create something, develop it, and successfully execute that. As a business leader, in doing that, what are some strategies that you've used, or would you say, sometimes they're habits, sometimes they're, just certain goal setting. How did you get it done?
The first thing I did was realize that I know enough to know I don't know enough.
Number one. We all know that, right?
Yes.
Ask for help.
And I haven't worked in this space. So I've worked with nonprofits. I've volunteered a lot for social impact, but in a completely different space. So being a survivor only gives me so much insight. It's my own lived experience, and that's it. So really was immersing myself in as much education as I could, and then reaching out to those who were leaders in the industry and learning, asking them, not being afraid to just, watch a webinar and then connect with those in the webinar and say, hey, I saw you were in this, I have some questions, may I have 15, 20 minutes of your time? And then going through a lot of business boot camps. I had a consulting business for a while, but that is completely different than running a C corporation.
But it's a layer in lessons learned.
Yes.
And, what to do. It just builds us.
Yes.
Build yourself.
But there were huge gaps of lack of knowledge. And so attending such as Startup Grind, which is hosted here at Tiger Labs, really gave me some insights into things like investment and cap tables. I never even had heard the term cap table before.
The cap table, right?
Yes, yes. So really, again, surrounding myself with people who were much smarter than me and learning as quickly as possible. It's funny, I recently went back in my past purchases of Amazon, and I could tell exactly when I was thinking about starting, the business, because all my purchases were books.
Self-help books, right? This, or just lessons and boot camps. And I get where you're coming from. One of those key things I find in all successful business leaders is that they're constantly educating themselves, from successors. Really kind of a basis of why we're here today. So that, like others can share, what you've done. And you know what, maybe I should, read that book, look at that webinar, and reach out for help. What is the typical user? I'm sorry, that's a technology term. Who is the typical person that needs this app, and why?
So our typical users are people who are in abusive relationships currently. We try to encourage our users, and users is a very appropriate term.
Okay, good.
Because some people consider themselves victims, others survivors. Some don't even know that they're in an abusive relationship. So
That's amazing.
It's really up to us to help educate them on what is abusive behavior. Oftentimes, they're in a relationship where they know things are off, but they don't consider it abusive. And not all abusive behavior is illegal. But it's really important to start documenting early so that you can show the progression, the grooming, if you will, of abuse as it escalates. And then if and when they do need the information, it's all there. Yes.
Okay. And are the users one gender? Is it one age group? Is it designed for just adults? Are children? We know there's children and there's abuse in children, but where does it fit?
So legally, our terms and conditions say 13 and older.
Okay.
And generally speaking, when teenagers get to be about 13, they're self-aware enough that they can document. If they're younger than that, then they would have to have an adult or someone else documenting on their behalf. But we encrypt all the users' data, so and we don't ask for age when they sign up for the account. So I can't give you an age range. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that typically abuse happens more to females, 1 in 3, and males are now up to 1 in 6. So I imagine that our users are probably right in that same vein.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, your successes are rolling this out. Obviously, that is part of the business sense that's behind the success. tell us what you're doing to get this rolled out.
So we have a partner program
Okay.
because we know that we can't reach all individuals. Many of them are very isolated, the end user. So we realized very quickly that we needed to create a partner program. We partner with those victim serving entities. They're the ones that have the resources. We're a tool, we're not the resource.
Give me an idea of an entity.
So we work with victim advocates, nonprofits that serve in that space, prosecutors' offices.
Okay.
We work with law enforcement agencies.
So these are all considered partnerships.
Yes,
Okay.
and we're current partners with all in that category.
Okay.
Yes, and we're getting ready to roll out our version 2, which will also help navigate tribal jurisdiction and legal compliance with Native American tribal courts, which gives us a whole new space, if you will, that has very much been underserved and has a huge percentage of issues with domestic violence.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, tribal sounds to me you can't get in, so now you can. Is that?
So jurisdiction is a huge issue. When the United States was colonized, the U.S. government took control over prosecuting a lot of these cases, and there are a lot of loopholes where if you're a non-tribal member and you commit a crime on a tribe or reservation, the jurisdictional rules may or may not apply where they would have the right to govern their own crimes. And so we worked very closely with victim advocates and judges and legal advocates that are in those tribal agencies to make sure that we got this right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your partnerships, are they here just in New Jersey?
No, we're across the U.S. So we have users using our app right now in all 50 states. And as of next week, we'll have users in all but 7 states across the U.S.
That's extraordinary.
Thank you.
So what are some key factors to get that done? How was that? I mean, you shared with us that networking, reaching out, I think is key. Don't be afraid to ask, right? The worst that can happen is no. But is there something, because obviously you're going nationwide with this.
Yes, and we have.
Okay.
So we've built strategic alliances that make sense in areas where we may have a tough time getting in, such as law enforcement. Law enforcement, if you're one of the gang, you're in. If you're not, you're going to have a really tough time proving yourself. So we partnered with agencies and organizations that already have that relationship built. So, for instance, we're partnered with EVAWI and Violence Against Women International. We've partnered with the Academy of Forensic Nursing. We've partnered with DomesticShelters.org, which is the largest database of domestic violence shelters across the U.S. and into Canada. Yes.
So these are very strategic, if you will.
Yes.
Ideas and plans to put in place. Is there, how does someone of your success get up in the morning? Like, is there something ritual that you do every day that we need to know?
Well, I suffer from insomnia, so I don't sleep a lot anyway.
Most leaders do.
Um,
Business leaders.
But I do try to get a few hours sleep a night, and then I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do a walk with my husband at 5:30.
Okay.
And then, have some reading time, a little bit of me time, and get my family out the door, and then start my day. I make sure that I shut off between 5 and 6 every night to make dinner for my family.
Okay.
So,
The family eats. This is key.
I
right?
cook.
Okay.
Yes. I'm the short order cook in the family.
Okay.
But those types of things are very important to me. If I know I'm going to have a late night, then I'll cook something the night before that they can have leftovers.
But at least the meal's
Yes,
there.
the meal's there.
Right.
Yes.
And being a leader, it's you are having a checklist and you're already thinking about dinner tomorrow, right?
Yes.
You know, it's on the
Yes.
to-do list that has to be, you know, addressed.
Yeah, and Sunday nights I pretty much plan out my week based on our strategies. And then every morning before I actually go downstairs to start my day, I just run over my checklist and make sure that anything that needs to be added to it is taken care of, what needs to be delegated, that kind of prioritize.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you have it. Okay. So is there something we can share with our audience on Victims Voice app that how do they get it? Who would, you know, if you know a partner maybe that would really benefit to, you know, get this distributed for you, what do they do?
So if you're a user, if you're someone who needs to document, you can go on our website, victimsvoice.app, and you can either purchase a license yourself or you can click find a resource and find one of our resource partners that you can get a free license from them. If you are a business owner and you have employees, we have an EAP type solution that we're rolling out so that you can actually offer this tool to your employees at no charge. You would have insights into how many licenses have been allocated to your account and how many of those allocated have been turned on or activated. And while you won't know who has activated, it gives you some insights as to potential upcoming productivity issues or additional security trainings that you might want to do. And we are partnering with professionals that write education and training materials so that we can make sure we're providing that for you as well. If you are a victim serving entity or agency, you can go to our website and click on partner programs, and there's information there about how to get started on our partner program. And if you just want to follow us on social, you can do that at Victims Voice app. So Victims Voice is all one word, but on social it's Victims Voice app.
And can they reach you if somebody wanted to reach you personally? Could they do that on the website?
Yeah, they can. We have a contact us form and they can fill that out, and then all appropriate messages come to me. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, Sheri, I could be more thrilled to have you here today,
Thank
talking
you.
with us, sharing with us, you know, your strategies on how you've made this organization growing as it is. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thank you for joining us on the platform NewJerseyBusinessStars.net. We want to thank Sheri, and I want to make sure if you know at NewJerseyBusinessStar.net, please log on to our website and share it. Thank you, and thank you for joining us.